it's Jen Suzuki, and I'm in the industry. I meet some of the greatest leaders out there, dealer execs, dealers, GMs, and I'm bringing them in the studio to talk to me about what's making their business pop, what's accelerating their growth. I'm sharing my own personal strategies for your sales teams, so I'm ready to get after it. Are you? Well, welcome back, listeners. I have Dave Sperau. Now, he is a founder of Autosled. He is the, what is CPO?
Certified Pre-Owned?
I'm sorry. We're going to have to start over. I couldn't see a CRO. Is that what you're going by now, the title?
Hold on 1 second. Yeah, CRO. So hold on. Let me just send this to my brother. Are you starting over?
Yeah, I'm going to start over.
Hold on 1 second. Hold on, sorry.
No, you're good. Don't worry about it.
Let me just get this done.
Chief Revenue Officer.
Yeah.
Do I want to say that?
Okay.
I just keep it around
I don't know, sure. Yeah, no. I think it's a good segue. I know what to say for it. I know what to say. I'm just going to say, yeah, well, it pretty much means I get to work with dealers more. Right?
Okay.
It pretty much means I get to talk to them, and this is what's going on. And okay.
All right.
I'm gonna be like, I don't know what it means. It's some title they gave me, but there you go. So, yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. My hair, I'm backwards on your screen, so I don't know. I got this new hair thing's like, I don't know what happened. I got this weird haircut.
It's not a weird haircut. You look like 2024.
You know what I'm happy to have? Hair. All right, let's go.
That's what most people start worrying about. And You've got a good hairstyle going. I like it. Welcome back, listeners. I've got Dave Sperau, the founder and Chief Revenue Officer, CRO, of Autosled. He's back, and I am excited to share with him, some of the I'm not sharing with him, but he's going to share with me some of the updates that have changed with Autosled. And remember, I used Autosled Direct in my last car purchase where I bought a car in South Carolina. I had it shipped to Colorado, and I shared a little about that. But I can't wait to hear what's changing in Autosled and how they're continuing to evolve and disrupt the transportation industry. Welcome back, Dave.
Thank you, Jen, and we appreciate your business. So you asked me offline what CRO means. I'm not sure. All I know is that I get to work with dealers more. So that's what I love, and so it's to go a little deeper on your story and how Autosled Direct and what we're doing with dealers is we've unrolled this last year where we'll handle dealers moves that they're selling retail to customers.
Yeah.
So dealers sometimes just don't want to be involved, don't want to be in the middle. Let us have it. Let us handle it. They can go right to the website, autosled.com, and put the information in or direct the customer right to the website if it's not included in the deal, and then they're totally out. And then we just handle it directly with the customer. So it makes it easier for them. They sell the car, they get funded, they get their paperwork done, they get everything handled on their end, and then they can just give it to us. And then we just deal directly with the customer and get it moved from the dealership to the end user. So it's been great. I mean, the dealers have been really receptive to it, and then it's out of their hair, and then it's completely in our hair, and then we can handle it and make the customer experience as best as we possibly can. So anyway, thanks for bringing that up, because it's an important part of our business, and we see it, I'm sure, as the dealers do, as it just keeps growing and growing as the months go by. And the quarters go by, and it's just, people just have so much trust in online retailing with the dealers. The dealers are just, look, it comes down to the dealers doing an incredible job. They're doing an incredible job of marketing their cars, taking incredible pictures, giving great descriptions, and everything is as they say. So they have incredible faith. I mean, look, I don't even know how many states are between South Carolina and Colorado, but probably
Meaning the right.
12, 10, 8, who cares? But you went all the way across the country, 2,000 miles almost to
Yeah.
buy a vehicle, and everything turned out great. So, and that's the world we're in. Customer desires. And I don't even know exactly why you do it. I probably should ask you, but there was probably a specific color, brand, uh, combination of equipment that you wanted.
Yes.
And you found it, and it happened to be in the great state of South Carolina, but it needed to get to Colorado, right?
Yes. Yes.
So, and that's incredible job by the dealers. I've been out of retail 4.5 years, but I miss it just 'cause I just see so much movement, and so much trust from the consumer base and the customers out there, with the dealer body. It just means the dealers have done just an even better job of building trust and marketing their product.
We're getting a lot more cars in inventory now, which means we're starting to sell more cars. We're supposed to have a
Yeah,
big year this year, which means there's going to be a lot of trades. And I think people did realize, I mean, I'm one of them that look, if my local dealers don't have it, I can go elsewhere. And it is easy to ship, you can get what you want today,
yeah,
if you've got all the right tools. And if people remember, Autosled is still a young company, yet
mhm,
over 1,000 dealer clients in a very short amount of time. I was just telling a colleague today, that is just astounding. It's just astounding. But also it's a great indicator that, look, people want transparency, and I always frame Autosled as the Uber for dealer transportation because it works a lot like Uber, and a lot of times transporters, sometimes they don't have insurance. They we don't know who these people are. We need to help this customer. We need to move this
yeah,
car. We need that car at the auction, and we need to get it here, and we don't want to keep paying expenses on it. We get it in the shop right away. And like, if everybody knows, I mean, I order like Uber Eats like at least twice a week. Why? Because it's right now. I like right now,
right,
and I love the transparency of it. I love that I'm paying in the app. Same concept for you guys. You have streamlined a lot of the functionality of transportation with, with billing inside. I feel like I'm selling this for you, but I know a lot about it
mhm,
because I used it, but also
yeah.
you're transforming the business. You're making it so much easier for dealers. And I'm just excited about things like this that dealers can use. And now it's customers like me can
Right.
use it.
Well,
We could tell
yeah.
customers to use it.
I mean, it's interesting. You just said a lot in that sentence, but but I'm gonna a couple things. So we were invited to a Cox meeting last week, and it was
Yeah.
interesting. There was about an hour and a half part of the meeting where their economists got up, and you're right. Used cars, they're expecting an increase.
Yeah.
Uh, and of course, Cox is the 800-pound gorilla, so they have economists that predict these things. So they're expecting a big year in used cars and in new cars to increase some, but not quite. But so that there's going to be a lot more movement.
Definitely.
But what's happened, and that was those were
Already
cool
seeing
things.
it.
Yeah, we're already seeing it, and we're seeing it on our side because dealers are buying a lot of inventory to source and replenish and that kind of stuff, along with their trades. But so that was really exciting to hear about our industry. But the
Yeah.
other thing you said in there that kind of piques my attention and is just something that we talk about daily, by the minute here, by the hour here, is
Yeah.
insurance. And so one of
Yeah.
our largest teams here at AutoSled is now this carrier vetting insurance department. So we make sure that each and every driver is listed on the policy. It's a big deal because there's a
Yeah.
lot of stuff going on where you have to worry about it and you have concerns. But our team, we keep growing that team, and there's reason because it needs to be done. It's the right thing to do. And then there's fraud. And so
Yeah.
we try and minimize that type of stuff as we can. But yeah, that team's done a really good job. And our requirements, it's funny. I had someone stop me at NADA, a gentleman that owns 150 trucks, and he's like, "Why do I have to do this?" I'm like, "Because it's the right thing to do. You should want to know who your drivers are. If you have 150 trucks, maybe you have, I don't know how many drivers you have for those 200, 250. How often
Yeah.
are they changing?" And he looked at me, he goes, "We're recruiting every day." I said, "Well, there you go. That explains it. So we're just putting another layer of verification behind you." And he goes, "Oh, that makes sense." I go, "So I hope no one's ever frauding you, and so we
Yeah.
don't want to fraud us. And of course, we don't want to have any fraud to a deal or a customer." But yeah, we're working hard on that. And that's just something that's in the forefront and paramount every day.
Yeah, well, it's something people don't think about, but I know it's a big deal because obviously we want to protect everything about our businesses. And speaking of benefits here, to dealers, what have you seen dealers experiencing as benefits in using Autosled Direct? Again, newer feature.
Yeah. Yeah, newer feature. I mean, look, they wanted it and they wanted to be out of the middle of it. So we created it and they're out of it and they can hand it off to us. And that
Hmm.
just makes it easier for them. And that's where we're here. We just want to make the deal. I'm a dealer. I spent 25 years in retail. I want to make their life as easy as possible because I wanted someone to make my life as easy as possible. But what spun out of that is another thing that we created this year, which is a dealer trade platform. Um, and what the, you know, genesis behind that is dealers, as this new car inventory, as you mentioned earlier, has ramped up and
Yeah.
customer demands, like, you going halfway across the country to get a car because there was probably some sort of desire of equipment or combination that you wanted. And we're seeing more and more of that. So the dealers basically said, hey, I need to be able to list the car I'm trading to the other dealer and then list that car at the same time that's coming back and have the same carrier. So it makes it easier
Oh,
for
yeah.
the dealer. And so we created this dealer trade exchange, and it's really worked. And the increase in that's been incredible. A lot of reasons. Look, dealer customer demand and dealers inventory increasing, but it's cool because now we can post both of them at the same time, but the driver just sees the first leg and then they get to accept the first leg. And then they say, oh, hey, they're notified there's a return. So it makes it easier for them. One off the truck, inspect it, one on the truck, inspect it, bring it back. So that just is to make the dealer life easier so they don't have to worry about two drivers or two different days or two different times or what they're telling their customer. And
Mm,
then what it's evolved into, I just got off the phone with one of our Porsche partners up in Owens Mill, and they have a trade coming back. It was
yeah.
a new car, new vehicle. So it's basically that's the same thing, right?
Yeah.
So that was retail, but it happened to be a trade. And he's like, hey, can you bring the Macan back? Well, sure. And
Yeah.
the gentleman's getting the Cayman, bring the Macan back, same driver. And then the customer is not put out that he has to worry about two separate drivers,
Totally.
2 separate days, 2 separate times, two
So
separate set of
streamlined.
plans. And
So
so
efficient.
it's just to make it efficient. And we've seen that grow like crazy. And that was 100% one of our dealers last year said,
Uh-huh.
hey, this would be cool. We looked into it, built it, here it is, and it's working.
Oh, that's interesting. Autosled first primary main feature product, this was really built out of you challenged as a dealer with
Mhm.
trades and
Yeah.
transportation and you streamlining and billing and everything else that comes with it. That now you're going back out to the dealers and saying, hey, how do we
Yeah.
make this better? Hey, what's missing? And that's how this new feature has evolved from dealer feedback.
Yeah, it's just 100% dealer feedback, and we're talking. We have a couple other things in the pipeline that we're working that are just 100% dealer feedback. I mean, my cell number's everywhere. You can Google
Yeah.
me. You can put it. It's on the website. You can get it from Jen. You can. I don't care. Call, text, smoke signal, Morse code, whatever. I just want to hear from the dealers, and if there's some way to improve to make their processes better, tell me, and we'll
Yeah.
figure it out. Because there's our software is nimble enough where we can make changes and we can add, delete, whatever. But it's there, and I just want to hear from the dealers. But these are a couple of things that just came directly from them, and
Okay.
and it's worked, and it's curious or it's interesting how it's grown and how it continues to grow. And look, this inventory out there is just going to keep getting moved more and more than we were used to. I mean, look, I learned how to sell cars, take them on the lot and plant them on the green one. Okay, great, and that works. And there's still a lot of salesmanship that we need, and that works. But there's a lot of people that never even make it that far. They don't even come to the lot to look at the green one, right? And
That's
then and they're
true.
just doing everything online and they're putting everything in. And then you're kind of to the point as a dealer or a manager or a salesperson, like, hey, I have a deal, I can get this, but I got to go over here to another store, another location, another state, another region, whatever, to get this car. And then you do the deal.
Yeah.
And so times are a little bit different, and we just see that increasing. I mean, that's funny. I'm almost 29-year-old daughter. She's
Uh-huh.
never been in a car dealership. She's on her fifth car.
Yeah.
And she just is like, "Oh, they bring it to the house. This is great." I'm
I
like,
know.
"There you go." Just
Look,
kinda like you talked about
I
the
could
Uber.
I could
Right,
say the same thing. I mean, I haven't stepped in a car dealership to buy a car. This
right.
in 3 cars over
Yeah,
10 years,
yeah.
you know? Yeah, why? Because, you know.
Yeah, same thing. She's on these leases and she's doing these 2-year leases. She's like, they just bring them to me." I'm like, "Yeah, like they're free." I'm like,
Yeah, all
they're
right.
definitely
Just
free.
drop it off.
They're free where you live." And, but yeah, it's funny. So they just bring them to her. But that's the mentality, and that's how she's, 28, she'll be 29 in the summer. That's what she thinks. Like, that's what I'm doing. And look, and she's someone needs to get her. She lives in Charleston, South Carolina. She leases on these 2-year leases. So she's gonna have like 50 cars in her lifetime. She's like, they just bring me a new one every 2 years. This is great. So, and that's what the dealers want.
It's great to
She might not
hear.
be
Leasing's
might not be
back.
the best customer because she's not in there all the time, but her trade cycle's every 2 years.
Yeah.
But it's delivery.
Well, it's a great way to build your clientele too, knowing that people are transitioning, but so frequently, I just kind of going back to just this thought of how Autosled evolved and creating more efficiency for dealers, and now there's this dealer trade tool. Is this an added feature? Is this a free feature? What is the? I
Yeah,
mean,
just
how do dealers get it? How do they access it? How do you start
they
putting
can
this thing
load
into
it. They can
motion?
load it. There's an option for them to load it and says deal or trade, and they can
Okay.
choose if they want it to go backwards. We have some customers that one customer asked that he goes, "We see the trade first."
We see the
Okay.
trade
So
first.
so this is pretty interesting. He has his customers conditioned where the trade comes into the dealership. They look at it and inspect it that it's as said by the customer and as detailed by the customer. Then they send the new car out.
Oh. Oh, trade first.
Trade first. So it's interesting. So we just listened. The
Huh.
dealer said, this one dealer said, "Oh, I don't do it that way." And we were like, "Okay." And it's a pretty good sized dealer group in this area. They have 13 stores. He's like, "This is how we do it." Okay. I think
Yeah, why not?
most of the customers are wanting the new car first and the trade coming back.
Yeah.
But, this guy, he has his customers conditioned to do that. So, okay, so a dealer can go in, there's no extra cost or anything. Dealer can go in and they can decide way they want it. Do they want the new car to go out first, or the trade to come back?
Yeah.
So, it's however their process is.
Well, you've inputted into the system to give them the option.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
it's just
so
it's
yeah.
just an option, and that was I don't know. I mean, he's very successful, this group, and that's how they do it. It's amazing. I asked a couple times. He's like, "Yeah, the customer's fine not to be without a car for a couple of days." I said, "Okay," and that's the way it works.
Okay. Hey,
Yeah,
there's a reason why he needed that. Obviously a problem, you solved it, and I love the reach out and looking to continuously improve the product. I mean, look, the more you use it, the more you realize, "Oh, we want this, we want it to do this." And that's probably, how a lot of these things continue to emerge. So you've got your direct program, and I just want to put this into perspective before we go any further, because I think if people are listening and they are not using Autosled, I just want to see how it unfolds for a dealer, and you might even share just a story with us, of a user experience, like because a lot of times dealers have their guys, they have their
yeah,
retired guys on staff that they use to do dealer trades, and this can be hit or miss sometimes too, and sometimes people have like transport companies, and then people turn over and change, and we're trying to gather quotes for customers from all these different places, and really there's no need for that, because now you have someone at your fingertips that you can boom, get a quote, get things moving, actually watch the whole thing go down in live time where the car is located, get photos from the driver. And then there's that other piece to it, and you may add on to it too with leveraging the dealer tool into this equation. But what does this look like for an average dealer? Like, when are they using this? When are they using with a customer? When are they pulling the trigger?
yeah. I mean, it's the same as their business before. I mean, look, they have access to their portal inside of our system, and then they can just go in and set it for whenever they want. I mean, we have customers that'll go in, and I had some this weekend, and they set for pickup Monday. And so
Mm,
they can go in and kind of
it's
pick and
fast.
choose the day and when they want to do it, or they can do it and post it immediately. Then it just goes right onto the load board in the marketplace immediately. So it's really up to them as to how quick they want it, or how quick their deal is, or if there's
Mhm.
paperwork working, or if there's some sort of things that need to consummate their deal. But yeah, it's pretty simple, very
Yeah.
simple. It's not, yeah. When we made it that way, just it's, it's basically customer information, VIN numbers, and then you can set how you want the trigger of events and the time of events done. So
Mm.
it's like one extra screen for them to pick timing and then pick the order. Really, that's just one button. It's either the trade first or the new car first. But yeah, it's really simple.
And basically the direct is like a dealer that, look, we got 1,000 things to do, or our guys
Mhm.
aren't in place right now. We need somebody to take over and
Yeah.
do that part for us. So we'll send the
Yeah.
customer directly to
Right,
Autosled.
versus them calling and explaining this and, "Hey, this is what's going on." Look, and that's why I love the car business when I got in, I don't know, I'm aging myself, almost 30 years ago, is every deal is unique, right? Because every person's unique, and every person has a different set of circumstances, a different want, different desire, different need, different budget. Everything's unique, and so you can tailor that to make it so the customer has that, unique feeling, or has the timing, or has the days, or has the exact motion that the car and the transaction supposed to happen. And that's what we've tried to do. And that's but we don't want the dealers having to worry about explaining this all the time and
Hmm.
making sure it gets documented every time, because it's just a couple pieces, a couple ads and a couple buttons in the software that they can just do that without having to give a long explanation and have to waste their time.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah,
Well, I understand. I heard that you guys are going to another conference. You were at Cox
we are.
conference last week. Now you're finished vehicle logistics conference coming up.
I will not be there, but my brother Dan and Bart Schuster will be there. And I understand that there's a free sign up
That's what I
link
heard.
for dealers. So let's just make sure we get that in there, because it's just cool. So it's the Finished Vehicle Logistics Conference in Newport, I believe, in California.
Yeah.
But let's just make sure. Can you share the link for the dealers? I think it's in our notes if they want to go, because there's no charge, and they can sign up, and we'll be there. We'll be exhibiting. We also will be speaking at one of the events. But I believe the free code is just Autosled VIP. And then make sure you go in there and talk to Dan and Bart, but they'll be there for the whole conference.
And I think they're speaking too.
They are speaking. Yep, they're speaking at one of the events.
Yeah. So if there's a dealer that's interested in going to this conference, you are able to get them comped. So when they
Yes.
register, I'll put the code in the show notes, and they should stop by and see Dan and Bart speak. And anyways, can you tell what can attendees expect at that conference? What are they?
Well,
What's it all about?
there's a lot of OEM stuff, and there's a lot of
Okay.
OEMs that'll be there and be represented. So it's a chance to meet the factory people
Okay.
and see what's going on in their part of the industry. So we're excited about it. We do OEM work
Uh-huh.
and continuing to grow that. But they'll be able to just really meet some of those people from both the OEM and then the captive finance side also,
Okay.
for the OEM. So yeah, please go visit them. There, it's definitely free for the dealers with the
With
link
the
you'll
code.
provide, and then the code AutoSled VIP.
Mhm.
So yeah, I think it would be worth. Plus, it's a really cool part of the country in California.
Newport
So
Beach is probably the spot in the
yeah,
entire
it's pretty
country to
cool. It
live.
could be a lot worse places to go. So,
And you guys are gonna exhibit there, so, like, if people wanted to learn a little bit about Autosled, you guys have, like, a setup there,
yeah.
a booth or something?
We will be exhibiting, and then not also speaking there. So,
Okay.
but yeah, I believe that link that you have will have all the details as to exactly where we'll be, and then when exactly Bart and Dan are speaking. But yeah, please go, no charge, and then cool part of the country, and then getting to hobnob with the OEMs and then see what's new in the industry from their perspective.
I think it's great, yeah. Thanks for putting that out there. I'm sure people will
Yeah, hope
appreciate
to see
that.
some people.
Yeah, and by the way, congrats on the continued success. I know you guys work really hard. As mentioned, you are totally accessible and available. Not that many people will put their cell phone number out there and be available at all times of the day. Dave lives on the East Coast. That's just
I
FYI.
don't care. Call me anytime.
Of course, you would say that.
I'm addicted to people. So yeah, call me. I could care less. Anything you want to talk about, but it's hopefully give us some suggestions or help as to how we can improve our business and software. And but yeah, I'd love to hear from you.
Well, you're a big supporter of our podcast, which is designed to, help our industry level up, gain some new information to enhance your business, your efficiencies. And I thank you so much for the support. And at the same time, thanks for bringing something to the industry that's so exciting. I literally love what you guys are doing. I talk about it all the time. I'm a fan, and I love to see the progress. So I appreciate you spending the time with me today to share some of the updates and the progress and what you're doing for our business. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, Jen. Thanks for the time. It was great to be here. Look forward to seeing
Next
you soon.
time. All
Okay.
right.
All right. Thanks.
If you like these episodes and my sales game techniques, you should snatch up our latest dealer education program I'm hosting. It's called Jen's Remote Classes, and it's a 1-hour, once-a-week class with me alongside other dealerships all pursuing the same end game to achieve top 10% status in your dealership. For more info, hit me up. All my contact info's in the show notes. I want to hear from you. And follow Dealer Talk with Jen Suzuki right now to get notified when episodes like this one drop. This is Jen on the podcast Dealer Talk with Jen Suzuki. See ya!